Guys, welcome back to today's YouTube video. Now it seems like a long time since we've sat down and actually produced a value-driven YouTube. Like, I feel like we've been on the go for so long, creating like weeks in the life, days in the life, and I know we provide value there, but today I really want to cover the power of personal branding and the power of personal branding on Instagram, because there is so much opportunity that you guys are missing, and I'm going to take you right through it. Okay, so we are all about unlocking social media success in the new era. So today we are going to cover what is personal branding, 3 ways that you can establish your personal brand, why Instagram, how you can optimize your Instagram bio, and the rule of 3. And if you don't know what the rule of 3 is, just you wait, because this is going to change the game for you. Okay, so firstly, what is personal branding? Now, the definition of personal branding is the effort to create and influence people by positioning yourself as an authority in your field. Now, that is the actual definition. Now, you might be sat there thinking, do I have a personal brand? The answer is yes. You have had a personal brand from the day you were born, and it's just up to you now to figure out how you want to position yourself in your industry or your niche so you can establish yourself as an authority in your field. So if you are still questioning today whether you have a personal brand, then what are you doing? Because you do have a personal brand, everyone has one. But the most important thing here is, how do you establish your personal brand? So it all comes down to 2 things, intention and positioning. So your intention is, what do you want to be known for? And then positioning is, how do you want to position yourself to establish yourself with that intention in your industry as a thought leader. So guys, I want you to grab a pen, your phone, your note tab, whatever it is that you use, and I want you to ask yourself these 2 questions. I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you want to be known for in your industry? And number 2, how do you perceive yourself in your industry right now? And this is a crucial one, because when I say how do you perceive yourself, you need to know deep down how you perceive yourself as opposed to what everyone else sees you as. However, there are 3 steps to take when trying to build your personal brand, because whilst I've just said it's how you perceive yourself, it's really important that you're self-aware. You need to be self-aware because you need to have an understanding about how everybody else sees you in your industry. Just because you perceive yourself in one way doesn't mean that everybody else perceives you in that way too. So I want you to do something else, which might be a little bit brutal and it might be a little bit harsh, but you need to do it in the beginning to be self-aware. I know this might be hard, but I want you guys to find someone, whether it's a friend, an employee, a family member, someone that's going to be brutally honest with you, and I want you to ask them, how do they see you as a person? What is it like to work with you? What are you like as a leader? What are you like as a family member? And if they hit you back with something that is totally different to how you expect them to be, then don't take it offensively. Just remember that you've reinvented yourself your entire life. The person you were in primary school and the person you were in high school were 2 completely different people because you grew. The person you are now, in comparison to the person you were in high school, you were completely different again. So if they hit you back and they say that you're a nightmare to work with, you're not loving, you're this, you're that, and you want to change that, you can change that, because if you could do it then, you can 100% do that now. So once you ask yourself how you perceive yourself, and once you've asked somebody else, your family, your friends, whichever, how they perceive you as a person, I then want you to go away and I want you to sit down and say, right, okay, how do I want to express myself? How do I want to be perceived within my industry? And then it's up to you to think, how can I now get there? What do I need to do? What values do I need to change? What do I need to switch up in my day-to-day life to become the person that I really want to be? Remember that your personal brand is who you want to be known for. It's not what anybody else wants you to be. It's who you want to be. So step 2 for building your personal brand. Now guys, I say this all the time, when you have your own personal brand, everyone has a story. You might look at someone and think you're on the same path, but I guarantee everyone's journeys are different. What makes you different from, I'm going to say Karen. Let's say Karen down the road, she offers the same services that you do. What is so different about you and her? You. Your personal brand and your story. So tell your story with your life. Now don't panic, if you are not comfortable sharing your story from your childhood, any traumas that you've been through, that is fine. I am not asking you to get super deep with it. It might even be that you just start to share your story based on your professional career. I personally share a lot of my story in terms of when I was younger, but I'd say that I start from when I was like 14. I don't really go back, because my mum and dad have been through a divorce, there's things that I don't want to open up about, but really that is my story as well, and maybe one day I will open up about that, but right now I stick with what I'm comfortable at. So just sit down, figure out what you're comfortable sharing, and then tell that story with your life. Okay, but What does it take to tell a story that resonates with your audience to get them to buy into you? Attention, relevance, benefit. Now, everyone on social media wants attention. When you are posting, you are literally competing with every single person that's posting at the same time that you are. So you've got to think of a way that you can stand out. How can you catch their attention? Obviously, you've got hook, value, call to action, but what more can you do that's going to get your ideal client's attention? Relevance. Your content has to be relevant. Now, when you're writing your story, I know if you've been around for 18 years, 25 years, 40 years, 60 years, however old you are, your story is long. You'll have so much that you want to overshare, but if it isn't relevant, don't share it. People don't necessarily need to know that you had a hamster when you were 4 that kept you up all night. They just want to know what is relevant to your story that got you to be where you are today and what built you and your personal brand to the person you are today as well. Lastly, benefit. Now this fits in with relevance as well, but it needs to be memorable. Your story has to be memorable, which is why I'm saying to share the best parts of your story and the worst parts, but the things that are significant, because if it's not memorable, people will forget who you are. Okay guys, so third step to building your personal brand is to deepen your relationships. It's all about connecting and building trust and loyalty with your ideal client and your followers on social media. So how can you bring more convenience to people's lives? So you can showcase your work, you've got client testimonials, and one of the big things that people are loving right now is when you are transparent with your pricing. If you are a service-based business owner and people need to ask you for your prices, you'd be surprised the amount of people that actually get put off by doing that because someone else is already sharing their prices, so they're going to go with them. And I know that's something that people hate to do. There's always this thing about how people don't like to share their pricing online, and I understand, especially with competitors, etc. But there are numerous ways that you can bring convenience to people's lives through values, tips and tricks, hacks. It's just about getting creative and thinking, if I was my ideal client, what would I want to see when I came over to my personal brand? What can I over deliver with and give free? Because what do they say? When you're free better than their paid, you are always going to win. So why Instagram? Out of all the social media platforms, why is it that I choose Instagram? Well, if you think about it, Instagram is probably the only place that you go to where you can build emotional connections, nurture your audience, and you can also share without having to tell. When you pick your phone up, I want you to think, what app do you pick when you pick your phone up? I know that when I pick my phone up, I naturally go over to Instagram as opposed to say TikTok or YouTube, because Instagram's obviously got DMs, and in my eyes, it's very similar to WhatsApp because the communication I have there, I can literally speak to anyone, I can send a voice note, and I just feel like I can nurture my audience there more than I can on any other platform. So not only can you build an emotional connection, when you nurture your audience, you can do this in many ways through commenting, engaging, sending messages, sending DMs, but not only this, you can also utilize your stories. So obviously when you post a story, you can engage with people through polls, quizzes, Q&As, but you can also use your close friend story for, say, last minute appointments, exclusive offers. You can really delve deep into your close friend story so that you're not having to advertise, say, last minute appointments or anything that you've got going on. You don't have to advertise that to everyone if you only want to keep that limited to, say, your existing database. Remember that it's all about building a community, so you can also show without having to tell. So one of my favorite things about Instagram is that you can literally use your feed as your portfolio. And no, you don't have to. Instagram doesn't need to be super aesthetic anymore like it used to be, but if you need to use it as a portfolio, you can. You can change your cover photos, you can use reels, you can show people how to do things without having to actually explain it. There's so many ways of getting creative on Instagram. It's mad. Think about it, you've got voiceovers, reels, carousels, grids. There's genuinely so much that you can do to nurture your audience and build a connection that is going to turn your followers into paying clients by just using the platform correctly. Another reason that I love Instagram is because you can literally optimize your Instagram profile so it's like a mini CV in a sense. So your Instagram bio is so important. When you come over to someone's Instagram and you follow them, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that's making you follow that person? Is it their content? Is it their bio? What is it that's standing out to you that is encouraging you to take action on that profile? So when it comes to your own bio, you need to make sure that you're answering the following: who you are, what it is that you do, why people should follow you, and what sets you apart. But make sure that you've also got a clear call to action. So if you want people to book a call, you've got a link there that people can go and book a call, book an appointment, download a free lead magnet, whatever it is that you want them to do. Make sure that that call to action is clear, and make sure that they don't have to press more. If they have to press more, that is another step, and you're losing that call to action, which means your followers are not taking action on what you need them to take action on. And one of my little top tips here is that when it comes to your Instagram name, this is SEO optimized. Make sure that it is your full name. So with me, it'd be Abigail Clark. Now I've got the blue tick on Instagram, which means I can't add in separate words, but if you don't have it, it's actually a benefit. So if you're a location service-based business owner or a business owner, you can literally put your name, dash, the service that you provide, and the location. So even if you're a nail tech, let's say you go over to Instagram now and you typed in Birmingham nails, the amount of nail techs that it's going to bring up in that area is ridiculous because people have optimized their Instagram profiles and mentioned where they're based. And lastly guys, if you are watching this and you are overthinking it, thinking, oh my gosh, where do I start? Start at the beginning. Don't overthink it. It's about being authentic and being true to yourself. You don't need to compare your journey to anyone else's. You just need to stay in your own lane. Focus on what you want to do, focus on your own values, focus on your own story and where you want to get to. This is your life, this is your personal brand, and that is the beauty of it. So guys, if you have made it this far in the video, I just want to firstly say thank you, and you should be so proud of yourself. You guys are in a growth mindset for even being here in the first place. So yes, you might be overwhelmed about growing your personal brand, but you are already in the best mindset because you're here today. Now the reason that I'm sharing this with you is because if I wouldn't have started growing my personal brand, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I've got today. I wouldn't have the network that I'd built, and I want you guys to have the same. I want you to go out there and have the same opportunities, if not 10 times better, and I want you to grow and just stay true to you. But on that note, whilst we're here, I want you guys to go and click the link in the description below, and I want you to join the new Era Accelerator community. It is a game changer. Each week we're doing 2 lives a week, we're doing Q&As, live audits, weekly trending audios, social media templates, anything that you need, we have got you covered. So guys, what are you waiting for? But on that note, I will see you in the next video, and let us know exactly what you want to see next because we want to create the best value for you. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.